Good morning and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Wednesday, September 22nd, the 25th Wednesday of Ordinary Time, and it is the feast day of Saint Emmeram of Regensburg. He was a bishop and martyr of the 1600s, and that martyrdom is what made him a saint, giving him his life for the Lord, for Christianity. So he does not have the patron saint of whatever, as far as I know. Maybe he does, but I couldn't find it. Anyway, legend has it, by how he was martyred, is that he was tortured to death, and that torture describes how he was bound to a ladder, and then he was hacked to pieces, and then later his eyes were taken out, and his nose was cut off, and he was still living. While still living, he asked for water, and one of his companions, who was martyred as well, I don't know if he's a saint, but it's Vitalis, answered, "Why do you seek relief when nothing of you remains but your stubby trunk, undecorated with limbs? I would think you should wish for your death rather than live with such shame." And then Emmeram responded by saying that one should not attempt to hurry death, rather to drag it out, in order to persuade the face of God's mercy through divine intervention, which is odd, But then it says, and then right after that, he was beheaded. So then, as proof of his innocence, a ladder was lowered to bear him to heaven. And as they carried his body to Ashkem, whatever that is, I don't know, a wondrous light shone from his body. So there we go. Which kind of reminds me, I'm sure we've heard of the tragic news of that younger lady, I forget her name, Gabby maybe, in Utah. And but I had seen something that they found her body in Utah, and they're still looking for her fiance down in Florida. But either way, which is a tragic situation, and we need to pray for her and her soul, as well as for whoever her fiance was or is. But anyway, similar to, this just came to me of, evidently there was a huge rainbow that shone over where her body was over in Utah. So hopefully, trusting, we have no way of knowing for sure, but trusting that she's in good hands with the Lord. So anyway, that is, let's get to the gospel. It's from Luke chapter 9, verses 1 through 6. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit. Amen. He summoned the 12 and gave them power and authority over all demons and to cure diseases, and he sent them to proclaim the kingdom of God and to heal the sick. He said to them, "Take nothing for the journey, neither walking stick, nor sack, nor food, nor money, and let no one take a second tunic. Whatever house you enter, stay there and leave from there. And as for those who do not welcome you, when you leave that town, shake the dust from your feet in testimony against them." Then they set out and went from village to village, proclaiming the good news and curing diseases everywhere. All right, so we've got the mission of the 12 in Luke's gospel today. And it seems interesting, I'm just going to be honest. The moment I've gotten to seminary, I've heard both good and bad. Like people that are in huge support of what I'm doing, of pursuing and studying to discern the Catholic priesthood, while many others attack me for it and say I'm wasting my time or whatever else, and I can't explain it. So you get the good with the bad. It is what it is. But as I learn more and more about and grow in knowledge and wisdom of God through study and prayer and pious examples here at the seminary, this mission of the 12 just really sticks out, because a lot of people argue that the mission of the 12, like only God himself can, or Jesus can drive out demons or can do anything worthwhile, really. of thinking, pretty much saying that the priest is useless. Why do we need a priest? Why can't we just go to God? Um, but this right here says that Jesus gave the 12 power and authority over all demons and to cure diseases. And he sent them out to proclaim the kingdom and to heal the sick. Meaning he gave power to drive out demons to regular Joes, to just your regular Joe Schmo who doesn't, chip off the old block disciple. It wasn't just Jesus, but God chose people to work through them. But those who say that we don't need the Catholic priest to offer sacrifice and sacraments and exorcise demons, look up exorcisms and things that have truthfully taken place in the world, and only a Catholic priest can drive out those demons, because they have that mark um, on their soul of God working through them as their instrument. Not meaning the priest is perfect, that's for sure, because they're still human. But God needs people in the world to help other people. So anyway, it just kind of really stood out, um, of how one kind of can distinguish in that argument of why priests are quote unquote useless. Because otherwise that's kind of saying like the disciples are useless back then. Like, can't you just do it on his own? Anyway, that's what came to mind here. But it's the mission of the 12. It's truly giving up your entire life for God, for the sake of the gospel, and people that don't believe you and don't trust you and choose to ignore you and attack you and kick you out. He says, shake the dust from your feet and just move forward and go elsewhere. Go from village to village. And so that's kind of the goal and the mission of any Christian every single day. How are you fulfilling the mission that God has for you and your life? Are you bringing Jesus Christ to other people by how you teach, by how you talk, by how you act, by what you believe, and everything else? So what are you doing to proclaim the good news today? Otherwise, have a great day. God bless, and keep it real. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.